Well folks, I'm having to dub all of this documentary because of the wind you get in the Western Isles. This is the day before getting the ferry to the Isle of Rum. This is where the ferry port is to the Isle of Rum and other islands too. In the background you've got a memorial in done in the graffiti style for fishing, and around this corner you have a sort of like a wooden sort of statue memorial to people who lost at sea, I think it is, fishermen. And down this road is the ferry terminal to get the boat to the Isle of Rum and some other islands as well. There's a waiting room as well, so you can wait in the waiting room out of the wind and rain.
Mallaig, and tomorrow I'm going to the ferry with my mate to Rum, which I've been to a few times, just at the harbour in Mallaig. And we're stopping at, well, it is called now, but it's a bunkhouse of a restaurant in Mallaig itself. It's only almost £20 a night. We were going to camp, but it was pissing down when we got here. The weather's improved now, thankfully, but still I think it would have been pretty damp up there. To be honest, we got a really early ferry, so I thought we're never going to make the ferry if we camp up the hill. It's 7:30 in the morning, we got to catch the boat, so yeah, we got to get up really early. So yeah, so I'll keep you updated.
Okay folks, well now on our way to Rum ferry. As you can see, it's extremely windy, so I'm dubbing this bit again. I'm going to take you a tour around the outside of the boat anyway. It's really windy weather. The waves weren't too big on this day, so it wasn't like a really rough crossing, it was just really windy. Yeah, so this is a look around the boat now. As you can see, there's a few people outside, but most people are inside out of the wind. The boat wasn't actually too busy. It was quite quiet, like, you know, obviously in good weather you're going to get quite a lot of people sitting outside here on the chairs, but this was, I guess, like kind of out of season. This is in September, I think it was, so it wasn't probably the busiest time, and you know, this is typical Western Islands weather really. You get loads of wind in the Western Isles, it's quite normal. So yeah, this is struggling to walk along in the winds there. As I say, the weren't big waves, so it wasn't too hard walking apart from the wind really. We look around, yeah. And now we're coming to a bit where I come to the front of the boat, and man, this was the wind straight hitting me. It was so windy in this bit here. I had rain as well hitting me in the face. Sillily, I didn't put a waterproof top on. I should have done really, but yeah, it was interesting to see.
I'm on Isle of Rum now. I just left my mate Sue. She doesn't want to come to the Bothy. I'm walking into one of the Bothies I've been to a few times before. It's really beautiful. I can't pronounce the name of it, but it's one of two Bothies that are on the island, and it's my favourite one. It's a bit of a walk. It's over 10 kilometres walk from the ferry port. It's been pissing down the rain, so it's interesting waterfalls at the moment. The river's quite full. It rains a lot here this time of year in September. So yeah, I've got some firewood and everything, so I'll let you know how it goes. Hopefully not too long. Hopefully it doesn't go bad, the weather too bad. On Isle of Rum at the moment, just come to the sign. Been here before. It's got the biggest, I think, red deer population in Europe, and I actually stupidly just walked amongst it all when they were rutting in rutting season like a few years ago. Even put my tent up in the middle of hundreds and hundreds of deer rutting. Luckily I didn't get attacked by the deer, but it is a pretty silly thing to do. As you see on this sign, it says deer breeding season. Breeding male deer are aggressive and may attack if approached, and they have been known to kill people, so I wouldn't recommend it. but I am pretty used to sort of like wild animals and farm animals, how to deal. Fairly okay about dealing with them. Just walking up to Guirdil Bothy. Guirdil Bothy, I think that's where I'm going. There's two. They've got like Dill at the end, both of them, so I get confused. Digbill and Guirdil. I think that's how I say it. Looks like an odd piece of maybe farm machinery, or I'm not sure to be honest. Maybe mining equipment or something like that, I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah. Dropped my mate off to camping pods. We'll start with camping pods. I got a Guirdil, I've been there a few times, it's really nice. The weather's getting better now, it seems to be better, but later on tomorrow it's supposed to be really bad. But today's alright, not too bad, just a bit of rain, no wind, not too many horses about at the moment. This road track goes off to a little settlement one way, which is really nice. It's got like I don't know, it's got kind of like a Roman style tomb thing by the beach in this little settlement. I've been there before. And then it goes the other way to the biggest red deer colony in Europe. We're come to cross paths now. So we've got signs for Kilmorey and Kinloch, and I'm not sure. Well, one way forks out that way, which is to a little settlement, and it's got like a Roman style like burial tombs by the beach. I don't know what it's called. And then another this way goes towards red deer population, where they study the red deer, and it's also the way I've got to go, because the footpath that goes over to the Bothy goes up from this road, if I remember rightly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does, yeah. But anyway, so I'm going this way. I'll keep you updated.
Okay folks, well this is the last river crossing before we come to the off-road bit that goes over a track starts going towards the Bothy. Okay, so folks, this is the bit where you come off the four-wheel drive track to go over the moorland going towards the Bothy. This track actually goes right towards the sea, to a sort of like outlook of the sea, but then you have to go over some more hills along the coast, like a coastal sort of path to the Bothy, across some rivers and burns. Okay folks, as you can imagine it's still very windy, so I'm dubbing this bit still. This bit's sort of kind of up from the forward drive track, up the track, not at the highest point going over the moors, but you sometimes get that impression. It's very wet along here. You are definitely going to get wet feet even if you've got a good pair of boots. I mean, this was in September, very windy, wet weather, pretty typical I think for here. Yeah, so have spare socks. got the impression that I was near the Bothy and the Bothy was just down right by the sea. But in fact, you get down by the sea, then you've got some river crossings to get to the Bothy. But in fact, it's better to cross the burn before you get close to the sea, where the burn is not so full up with water, so strong. It's best to cross, before, just walk on sort of trackless ground on the other side of the burn. I have been to the Bothy before, so this is the reason I know that. And I realised when I got down by the sea that I made a mistake in not crossing the burn earlier. So yeah, in the end I end up wild camping instead of going to the Bothy. But I've been there before, so it's no problem. Maybe I'll put some pictures up of it, the Bothy.
So I thought I'd make a video what it's like when the sun's actually out. Actually, it's very beautiful. Still very wet because it's been raining, which obviously happens a lot here. This is in September anyway, I think. I'm not sure if this is the wettest month. It's October now, early October, rutting season for red deer. I've seen some red deer in the distance on Rum so far since I've been here this time. Last time I actually camped with the buggers in rutting season, which is not recommended. So they're very dangerous. They can get mad, they can even kill you, so not a good thing really. Especially the biggest herd of red deer in Europe. So yeah. Now I'm going towards Guirdil Bothy. You can camp there as well, by the way. Most of the deer are by the research, I think, on the island. There are deer down here as well. You can hear them rutting at night outside the Bothy this time of year. Yeah, that's looking a bit better, the path now. Right, as we go down, I can't remember what the path is. It's been a few years since I've been down here. I'm guessing that obviously the farther we go down, the worse the path is going to get, bog-wise. So, yeah, it's a bit boggy, as you can see. Right here, avoid that bit. Probably slip and break my ankle. It's funny, when you start off hiking at the start of the day, or when you start off on the trail, even with the biggest backpack, it seems so easy to carry. Well, I think anyway. After a while, it doesn't feel so good. You start to realise that it's a bloody big backpack and it's heavy. Well, I carried some drinks with me, so that's the reason it's mainly heavy. Did leave some stuff in the pod with Sue. She definitely wouldn't have been able to do this path. It would have been far too much for her. She's not into hiking, so fair play, she just wants to enjoy the scenery around the harbour. So I'm going to have to do this somehow. Yeah, I feel like we've done so 3 times so far. 6 over at the peak. Almost went down the side into the water now. Wouldn't have a camera rolling, unfortunately. I don't know if it's, well, this bit of the is better now. I don't know if that's the thing that's going to be like all the way now, I can't remember. But there's some good bits of the path, and there's some boggy bits. It's not a stream, it's not that bad. But yeah, it'll get wet feet. I got the gauges would be very useful as well. Okay, quite boggy. Yeah, so not 2 kilometres boggy down now. It's just 12.50. Yeah, stuff. There was like a festival going on, so it's quite a lot of people about. There's a Highland music festival in the community hall. Unfortunately, my boat was at 7:30 in the morning, so we couldn't really go. We had a few whiskies, but we were in the time. So, yeah, today's my working day for doing this. If I go back to the campsite and run tomorrow, that means I don't have to rush back on the day when I get the boat, which is 1 o'clock. So, yeah, I don't deal with the Bothies today. There's some people going to Lake Bothy. I think it's Neville. I'm not sure. I was like, half asleep when they told me, and I'm not going to break it, so I've got plans to know which Bothy which. Yeah, I've not made a plan to come here. It's just like a random thing. I'm being happy to this one before I know how to get to it. So I can look at the map, but I just can't put the name there. What I do now is Guirdil Bothy. I feel just take a peek, which I found much harder in bad weather because there's one river, just one Bothy that you have to cross. I couldn't really fancy crossing when it was quite hot after the rain. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I think this Bothy down here is nicer. It's bigger. It's just a nice location. You can on the beach. Can't put it. The beach is so it's crossing. Stream crossing. That's the English way of saying it anyway. It's the same part. I don't want to think that. Okay, now, see,
Going to Guirdil Bothy, almost there, just about 2 kilometres to go. Started raining. I mean, it's very wet down here, so hopefully when it's a storm tomorrow I can actually get back alright. It's not totally blocked off, so yeah, I'll keep you updated. It seems to be stopping the rain again. It's been stopping and starting all day, but tomorrow's supposed to be quite a storm. So well, folks, that is a river crossing I've got to get to Bothy over there. And to be honest, I could cross it now. I could definitely cross that. Get really wet feet. But tomorrow there's supposed to be a lot of rain, and in that case tomorrow I wouldn't really hold my hopes up for crossing this river. So to be honest, I'm seriously thinking about putting my tent up. It's so annoying because the Bothy is just over there. This river, I'll have a look if there's an easier place to cross, but to be honest, I think I'm going to camp somewhere around here, put my tent up, try and find somewhere sheltered from the wind, because I have got some fire logs so I can have a fire. I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest. I have been to the Bothy before anyway, and yeah, using common sense, and like my friends expecting me back tomorrow. Heavy rain for tomorrow. There's no way I'm going to cross that river tomorrow. I totally forgot about this river because I haven't been here for a long time. I was talking to a guy at the bunkhouse, and I think we're getting mixed up which Bothies were which, but I just remember the other Bothy having a river to cross as well and being hard to cross when it's raining. So to be honest, I ain't going to cross this one. I can cross it now just about, but if it's been heavy raining, yeah, I don't fancy crossing that after heavy rainings. I'll have a think about it anyway, but the sensible thing would be to do is not cross it, because my friend's going to start worrying if I don't get back tomorrow. So folks, I hope you enjoyed the photos from when I was when I last made it to the Bothy in 2013 on the trip then. I didn't make the mistake then of crossing the river at the bottom, I think, or I did cross the river at the bottom, but it wasn't too full up, and when I came back I think I crossed further up. So it's actually better to cross the burn or river, whatever you want to call it, stream, before you get to the coast, because by the time you get to the coast, especially if it's been raining, it can be quite deep, so it's better to cross it beforehand. And then once you've crossed it, you're walking on just moorland, there's no track, and then you eventually get to the track when you get to the coast to sort of a vague sort of path which you go over, I think, two sort of hills, and then you come to a valley with the Bothy, if I remember rightly. Always check it up. There's 2 Bothies on Isle of Rum. Both have got river crossings and can be quite tricky in poor weather, so always ask when you get there about the Bothies and stuff, what the conditions are like, and obviously practice river crossings. 2 sticks are good, 2 walking sticks are good for river crossings. 1's okay, but 2 are much better. So definitely in the end, I definitely decided against going to the Bothy this time, just because I was absolutely knackered. I don't know why, because I've not really done much hiking for myself personally, but I was just knackered, and it was quite windy weather. By the time I got there, I couldn't be bothered to walk back up the burn to cross further up. I've already been to the Bothy before. It's a very nice Bothy. There's always a chance it's going to be full up of people, because this Bothy you can also get to by boat. Kayakers, I think, use the Bothy quite often, people in boats. So it's a mixture of hikers and people kayaking. But it's really cool if there are other people there as well, of course. But if you just want some peace and quiet, maybe it's better just to put the tent up, which I did, rather than going out the hassle to cross all the burns and go over the hills to get to the rest of the way to the Bothy. I thought, I can't be bothered to move now, and plus the fact by the time I remembered that you could cross further up the burn, I had the tent up, so it was a nice view from the tent, and my tent was quite capable of probably handling the wind that was going to be coming, which was actually, I think, 50 mile/hour gusts, which we definitely did get, and I videoed it as well. That was in the Jack wolfskin tent I got, which is I think it's I don't know how you pronounce it, Grosmere tent. I should know. I've had it for years. I've gone through like 3 of them or 4 of them. So it is a favourite tent of mine. It's not the lightest of tents, but it's got a small footprint, so it's not too hard to find somewhere to wild camp because it's so small. It's not, you can't sit up in it, but it is so good in the wind, and it's built like a tank. It would not leak. It's a great summer tent for all weathers, even like spring and autumn. I don't really use it in winter. I'd rather use a full season tent for that. So, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting quite windy at the moment. I didn't make it to Bothy because didn't want to put a tent up past the I'm in tent at the moment. I don't want to put tent up I didn't want to get to Bothy because there was 2 big rivers to cross, and there's a storm today, as you can see in my tent. Yep, this is a storm. I'm in the Jack wolfskin Grosmere tent, and a pretty damn strong wind on the Isle of Rum, and I've got no wind shelter because all the places with wind shelter was really damp and not very nice, so I put it on top of a mound right by facing the Atlantic Ocean. So I'm testing out the tent good today in this coming storm. The storm's not even here yet. This is just probably just a bit of wind from it coming towards me, but like I've got about an hour before it's light, and I'm going to hopefully get back okay. Well, I'm sure I will. Hopefully it's not going to rain too much because I've got some little rivers to cross, streams, but not really big. Got an energy drink to help me through this wind. I'm not sure how strong the wind's going to be today, but it's sounding pretty bad out there. I'm going to wait till it gets light to go while it's like this.
It is starting to rain, unfortunately. So good job I didn't cross the rivers to the Bothy. And I'm going to make my way back in about an hour's time. Hopefully the tent doesn't blow down, you know. It's standing up pretty well, but it's gonna be fun putting the tent down anyway. Maybe I'll video me putting the tent down. That might be quite interesting.
Back at campsite, been back here for a few hours now, sorting myself out. In fact, I've decided I'm going to stay in a pod as well. Apparently the weather, 60 mph winds tonight, set up to 70 mph winds tomorrow as well. It's not looking like the ferry's going to pick us up. If it's going to be like that, I'm pretty sure it's going to be cancelled, which means all the tickets we bought are going to be useless. That means we've got to buy tickets all over again, and expensive ones, so that's going to have to go on a credit card. That's Christ knows how much that is, I don't want to think about it. But yeah, so shit happens. Anyway, I'm going to go up the shop stuff, because apparently open at 5, and I'll keep you updated. Oh, that's our pods over there where we're staying. I thought, yeah, everything's wet, so yeah, and pretty bad, well, bad weather, 70 mph winds. Not here, it's in the sheltered a bit, but it's still windy. But where I was, yeah, very windy. And tomorrow, hopefully not. I don't know if you can see the seals out there. There's 3 seals. They're probably too far away to see on the GoPro. Unfortunately, I haven't got a zoom on here. But yeah, they keep going underwater and coming back. There's one just over there, a bit too far away for the GoPro to pick up, I think. Don't know where they've gone now. Where's little bugger's gone? There's one over there.
Okay folks, so here I'm trying to spot the seals. Well, I can see them, but the GoPro can't, unfortunately. This is the sort of like pebbly beach by the campsite on the Isle of Rum, and behind me here you've got a sort of castle. It's not a seriously old castle, it's still being used. It's got quite a bit of interesting history to it. You can look that up on the internet, or the castle on the Isle of Rum. Yeah, you get a lot of seals down here and other sea creatures, I'd imagine. I've seen the seals along here before when I've been here. Yeah, like the winds die down a bit in this harbour. Well, it's the harbour, so the wind's not quite so bad on this bit of the island. At the moment, at this moment in time on this bit of video, I was worrying that we're not going to be able to get the ferry back because there's serious storms predicted for tomorrow. Well, tonight and tomorrow there would have been. So it was very iffy if the ferry was going to sail or not, and we already pre-booked our train tickets. So yeah, that was a little bit worrying. That means we'd have to buy our train tickets all over again if the ferry wasn't running. So in the end, by the way, the ferry did run, and it was like a roller coaster. The sea was very, very choppy. I only had rough sea like that once before. And yesterday when I was camping, it was bad weather, as you know. A storm was hitting, and the storm is still today. You can't really notice it much in this harbour because it's quite wind protected. We're staying in pods at the moment. We've both got our own pods. We've got a pod each, and I'm just cooking the boat will come in over there, hopefully. Yeah, we're waiting for the boat. Hopefully the boat's supposed to come today, but we're not sure if it will because of the storm, because it's 70 mph wind, so it's over 100 km/h wind, so it's not looking too good. Oh, actually, this is inside my pod anyway, and I got this whiskey, Loch Lomond distillery whiskey, and it was £20, and it's cork top bottle. It's not 10 years or anything like that. It's a single malt Scotch whiskey. And I can tell you, it is up there in my possibly top 5 whiskies I've tried so far from Scotland. You can't get this everywhere, but you can get it in Fort William in Morrison's, £20. So yeah, I'll be getting another bottle of that. It's easy to drink. It's not. We had just over half a bottle of it shared between us, and I don't drink too much these days, so, and it didn't give me any nasty hangover, shitty feeling and stuff that you do with cheaper whiskey. And yes, I recommend this, the Loch Lomond whiskey. There's a bottle. It's empty now.
So, got Loman Classic Whisky. Definitely recommend that.
Okay folks, so this is our pods where we're stopping on the campsite. The campsite's near here as well, but this is not the camping area. So that's the two pods back there. One's mine and one's Sue's, well not ours, but what we're staying in. And walking down here there is like another privately owned, I guess, like hut. It's more of a sort of like hut. It's actually got like I think a coal fire in it, in the middle centre of it, and you've got like these kind of like animal skin rugs. I'm not sure what type, if it's like I don't know, to be honest, but there's some kind of like rugs there that look quite warm in there. I had a look in the window, but yeah, it's more expensive to stay in there obviously, and that's a privately owned hut by someone else, and I think the other two pods are just owned by people on the island as well. And down here you've got a shelter where you can look out at the harbour, the sea, in the rain, and do some cooking or whatever. But to be honest, there's a lot of midges around this area, so midge season, if there's no wind, if there's no breeze or whatever, you're going to have a serious midge problem, because it gets a lot of rain here and it's quite damp often. So yeah, look out for the midges here. Waiting and hoping that the ferry turns up in the this was bloody windy, absolutely windy. Definitely had to dub this, and at the moment I'm praying that the ferry's going to turn up, because I do not want to buy more train tickets, because my train tickets are pre-booked, as I said. So I was just hoping the ferry's going to turn up, which it did turn up, and it was a rough journey. It was like I've said before, it was like being on a roller coaster. Luckily I don't get seasick. So yeah folks, this was quite a calm start to what was to become a very, very rough sea crossing for ferry. In fact, the sea was so rough it was touch and miss whether the ferry was going to run or not. I think the winds were supposed to be 60 miles per hour. So there was a lot. I don't know much about a serious amount about storms, but I guess it's like swells or storm swells or something causing the waves. I don't know how it works, but anyway, it was very choppy water. Like I said before, I keep saying it's like a roller coaster. It was up, down, very hard to walk on the boat. I probably didn't video the best of it, because my friend was violently sick. She was sick most of the way. She suffered from seasickness, so for her it was horrendous. For me, I don't suffer from seasickness, but because she was being sick, I started feeling a bit green. Not to the extent that I was going to throw up, but my stomach started going a bit on the funny side, because it was quite a long journey. It was quite a few hours, because we decided to get on the boat before it comes to Rum, and then it goes off to another island and comes back to Rum. But I wanted to get it on the first time it comes to Rum, because I wasn't too sure if it was going to come back to Rum because of the rough sea. So I was convinced it was better to get on the boat and be on the longer boat ride, just in case it wasn't going to sail and we miss our, like our train journeys we've booked. So not only did she suffer rough sea, but an extra long journey, because I wanted to get on the boat sooner, even though it come back to the islands twice after going to other islands then goes to the mainlands, if you see what I mean. So we went on the longest. We were on it for the longest, basically, just in case it didn't come back. But apparently I was told that never happens. But yeah, knowing what transport's like and how reliable it is, sometimes I thought I don't want to risk that, so I'm going to get on the boat now. And it was a seriously rough when we got out to sea. Probably one of the roughest ferry boat journeys I've had. Maybe not the roughest. It's hard to say, because I've been on quite a few rough boat journeys across the sea, but it was definitely up there. It was, really hard to walk on the boat. It was what the boat was facing down, the facing up. I mean, that's how big the waves were. Like, you can't really tell in this video. I think when I did the video in, maybe the worst of it was over, but it was still rough when I was videoing for sure. But when it was really rough, it was like next to impossible to stand up. It was so hard to stand up. I had to go down to the bar to get some water from a friend who was being sick, obviously, because she was losing a lot of fluids, and it was so hard to walk down to the bar. Like, there was no one at the bar because you can't. Oh my god, it was interesting walking down to the bar anyway. I can tell you. I enjoyed it. Obviously, friend didn't. It was horrendous for her, but I thought it was a great experience. I mean, I love rough sea, so and it obviously makes a good video. But yeah, as I said, I missed the worst of it because I had to look after a friend, and I can't go off videoing while she's she really did look bad, and obviously if you're losing a lot of fluids, it's not good. So I had to make sure she was okay. But I really did love this boat journey. Oh, it stops off at Ig as well. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's E-I-G-G, Ig, the island. And I've been to that island before, and I can tell you, it might be a small island, but definitely go and visit it. It is such an awesome island, and it's got that massive rock sort of like structure. I think it's like the biggest of its kind in Europe. Google it, and it's like you can go right to the top of it. It's not really seriously high up. It's not like a mountain, but it's quite a good climb. If you get up there I went up really early in the morning to get sunrise pictures, and it was absolutely stunning. Definitely go to Ig. It's got a nice little shop on it as well. There are plenty of places to stop on there. Like if you don't want to wild camp, you can wild camp as well. But there are places to paid places to stop as well if you don't like wild camping. It's a really friendly island, I found when I went there. It's fantastic. There's so much to it. It's got a singing sand beach, it's got fossils, it's got that massive rock structure. It's a very interesting place to stop. And then there's another island it stops at as well. I wouldn't like to say what I think it's called in case I get it wrong. It could be the Isle of Canna. I'm not sure. I might have got that wrong. But it stops at another island. So it's got 2 island stops before it goes back to Rum, I think, then. And then from Rum it goes back to the mainland after the 2 other island stops. And now on the video, yeah, you can see it's pulling into Rum now, the boat. Not Rum, sorry, Ig. This is the rock structure on Ig as we're pulling in here. And it is quite, from this angle, quite an impressive rock structure as you go in. The island's famous for it, and it's also famous, the island of Ig, for being one of the first fully green islands in the world, I think. I don't know if that's true, but that's what they say. So, yeah, absolutely, it's a stunning island. Like, yeah.
Hello there, folks. It's your host Richard, staying in Mallaig, a hostel in Mallaig, just cooking some noodles. This bunkhouse above the tea house, I think it is. Yeah, just made some coffee and cooking noodles. Getting ready to go get the bus to 4 billion in a bit. Yeah, it's alright here actually. £22 a night. Yeah, alright. Free Wi-Fi, fast Wi-Fi as well. So it's good. Hello there, folks. Well, this is the dorm room I've been staying in at Mallaig, and just waiting to get the bus to Fort William. 10:50. It's 8:55 now. I think kicking out time here is about 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. It's £22 a bed, so, and it's warm, very warm. The showers are really good. Kitchen's really nice. Living area's pretty nice. Got TV, some games, books. It's got lockers in here as well. I don't know if they work with them or use them. It seems pretty safe here. So yeah, just packing my bag up and getting ready. so I'll keep you updated.